Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kelsey. Today I have for you my top leather fragrances. I'm going to be rating all of them for you and telling you which one I think is the best. These are all leather fragrances that have become a part of my collection either in the last year or if I've had it for a little while. Some of them are newer to my collection, so I'm still experimenting with them, but I'm going to be giving you my thoughts on these leather fragrances. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of leather, like I have said in the past. I personally don't really wear leather fragrances, so these are reserved for my boyfriend. So these are going to be more masculine leaning, of course, a little bit darker, maybe a little bit smoky. There are some leather fragrances that can be more fresh, which I do prefer myself. I don't like it to be super dark, earthy, smoky, anything like that, just to kind of give you an idea of the type of leather scents that I personally enjoy. The first one I'm talking about today is Orilla from Diptyque. So this is Diptyque's leather fragrance. I don't believe they have any other fragrances with the note of leather. This came out a couple of years ago as a part of the Middle East collection, and I didn't try it for a long time, but I've had it in my collection for a little while now. I know it looks like I have gone through this, and my boyfriend loves this fragrance. He's obsessed with it. He kept asking me to get this for him, so I finally did, and he loves wearing it just day to day. To me though, this would be a very sexy date night fragrance because it is a little bit sweeter and it's a little bit fruity because you have raspberry in here, which I have kind of noticed a trend amongst leather fragrances having a note of raspberry. So it just sweetens it up. It makes it a little bit more wearable in my opinion, but it's a very true leather fragrance. That's the first note that you smell in here, is definitely the leather. But like I said, it's toned down with some sweetness from raspberry, and then you have iris and cedar. So you get a touch of woodiness in here. The iris I don't really pick up on. I just mainly smell the leather, the raspberry, and the cedar. This is an incredible performer. It's gonna last you like 10 hours at least. People are gonna be able to smell you when you're around them, that's for sure. So if you're looking for a compliment or you're going on a date, then I would recommend this to you. And I'm going to give Orilla a 8.5. Now we have Leather Rouge from Miller Harris. This is another slightly sweet, fruity leather fragrance. As you can see, I enjoy fruity leather fragrances and fresh. So this is not super dark, but you definitely smell the leather. It's a little bit smoky. There is a note of raspberry in here as well, which I definitely smell. That adds a bit of fruitiness to the top. Saffron, violet, and rose. This is quite a floral fragrance as well. So you're getting a mixture of those floral notes with a slight fruitiness and the leather to round it out. I feel that this would be an incredible signature scent. If you are looking for a leather signature scent, this is one I would recommend to you because it is the most wearable in my opinion, because the florals smooth it out as well as the raspberry note. It's not super sweet, it's almost more of a tart, fruity note, but to me this is beautiful. I really enjoy this leather fragrance. I have not seen anybody talking about it, so please do yourself a favor and try out Leather Rouge, because to me this is top tier for a leather fragrance. And the performance is also really good on this, but it doesn't project too much, and that's another reason why I would recommend this as a signature scent. I'm going to give Leather Rouge a 9 out of 10. Now, it would be pretty hard for me to do a leather fragrance video without including this one, and I have to say that it is a great fragrance. It's not one of my favorite leather scents in the world, and that is Ombre Leather from Tom Ford. This is a classic in the community. I know many people love this fragrance and I hear about it all the time. So don't get me wrong, this is a fantastic leather fragrance. It's just not one that I prefer smelling on a man because it is a little bit more harsh. It has this woody, like earthy undertone to it as well. You have moss and patchouli, which is adding that earthy undertone that I don't like whatsoever. I am not a fan of moss in fragrances. Patchouli is also hard for me to get away with. Patchouli can also be a difficult note for me, so when you combine that with a very strong, powerful leather, it's just too much for me. I know a lot of people probably disagree with me, and that's fine. This is a very masculine leather fragrance. If you want something a little bit more woody and dark, it's a little bit earthy, then try this one out. I know that they have this at Sephora for you to test. It should also be at your local department stores if you have a Neiman Marcus, Saks, possibly even Macy's or Dillard's. I have been seeing more of the Tom Ford fragrances in those locations, so do yourself a favor because this has a lot of hype around it and I'm not a fan of this one. It can be sexy on a man in some ways when I smell it from far away. If I smell it up close, it's too much. But if I get the scent trail, then it is pretty. I can kind of understand it. So this is beast mode. If you want people to smell you, if you want a beast mode fragrance, then this is the leather fragrance for you. Just because I don't like it doesn't mean you won't. It is a classic leather fragrance regardless. And I'm going to give Ombre Leather a 6.5. Now I have a new fragrance in my collection that I've had for about a month now, and this has slowly become one of my favorite scents. It is called 603 from Bon Parfumeur. So this is 603 Cuir Encens Tonka. Tonka bean, leather, and incense are the predominant notes in here, and you can smell all three, which I really appreciate. Another thing about this fragrance, I feel that it's more of a unisex leather. A lot of times leather can just be so masculine, but in my opinion this is one of the first that I've found that I personally can wear because it just has more of a soft, prettier undertone to it. It's a little bit sweeter, it's a little bit powdery, and then you have the incense, which adds a bit of a dry smokiness, but I don't mind it at all because the tonka bean sweetens it up. It is just beautiful. I was really shocked by this. I actually saw a lot of people talk about this on Instagram. And when I was reading the reviews on Instagram, nobody was really saying that they loved it. Some people were saying they liked it. A lot of people were saying, oh, I couldn't see myself wearing this. And I was surprised when I tried it because I actually fell in love with this fragrance. It's sweet, it's resinous, you have the leather and the smoky incense. To me, it's just, everything is so leveled out together that I can smell everything, and I think that's why I enjoy this, because the leather isn't like in your face, sticking out more than the rest of the notes like a lot of leather fragrances do, and that's something that I really love about this. So you do have Syrax, which is a resin. You have Alabana, which is another resin. So I'm really getting a lot of that sticky, thick, resinous undertone, which goes perfectly with incense and tonka bean. They just all go together so well, and it's beautiful. This projects like crazy. It lasts all day. This would be another great date night fragrance if you want to impress somebody, or it could be a signature scent during the winter time just because it is quite strong. You know, it can be a little bit overwhelming maybe in the office, but signature scent in the winter time, it cuts through the cold weather. It is beautiful. Please try this fragrance because this blew my mind. This I am giving a 10 out of 10. We are going with a Kajal fragrance I have spoken about in a couple of my recent videos, and that is Kajal 4. So this is a darker, heavier, earthy leather fragrance, and it almost comes off as a dark bitter chocolate note. And there really isn't much sweetness in here. It's more of a cacao chocolate that I'm getting a bitterness with some leather. There is also cardamom in here, a little bit of a spice going on, and then you have rum. This is like overwhelming me a little bit. It's so strong. Yeah, I definitely smell the rum. It smells like a drink. It smells like a rum drink. But it is slightly sweet now that I'm smelling it more. You have dates in the base, which adds a slight sweetness as well. It's a little bit sticky sweet. So yeah, I take back what I said. It is a little bit sweet from the dates and mixed in together with the rum. And I'm still getting that dark cacao in the background. You know, when you're baking and you use cacao powder, it's kind of what that resembles. So ultimately, a very dark, rich, mysterious fragrance. If you're looking for something different, again, this is not purely leather. You have these other notes, boozy notes going on that I really enjoy. Please try this out. Again, I don't hear about this fragrance and I really want more people to know about it. This is like a show-stopping fragrance. Super mysterious though, so if you want people to be wondering who you are when you step into the room, because you are also going to be noticed by this fragrance, is very strong. As you can see, I could barely handle smelling it close up to the bottle. This is wild, it's insane. This is another Beast Mode fragrance, very masculine from Kajal, and I'm going to give this one an 8.5. I have a leather fragrance here from a very popular brand. However, I don't hear too much about this particular fragrance. I have talked about it in the past. It is from Sospiro Fragrances, Prima Donna. I just have a travel size here from Max Aroma. Really love these. Nice leather casing, super convenient. I'm going to spray this one on myself as well because this is one that I don't mind wearing myself. Would I say that it is feminine? No. But it is not necessarily purely masculine. I can see a woman wearing this fragrance in the winter time because it is a heavy, thick leather fragrance with some lactonic, fruity notes. This is definitely more of a creamy leather fragrance with the fruity notes in the background. I am definitely picking up on cherry. I believe cherry is a note in this fragrance. And I'm definitely smelling it. It's like a maraschino cherry, a dark juicy cherry, a little bit lactonic and milky. Of course you have the leather, and I am picking up on some patchouli. So it's slightly earthy, but overall a creamy leather fragrance with some milk and fruity notes. If you love cherry fragrances, try this out. This would definitely be giving like a femme fatale vibe because it is very mysterious and dark, just like the last fragrance I talked about. But overall, I really enjoy this one. At first, when I tried it, I didn't really like it too much because, like I said, I'm just not really prone to enjoying leather fragrances, but as I wore it on myself, I started to pick up those fruitier notes, a little bit of a creaminess, and I started to enjoy this. So Prima Donna is getting a 9 for me. And we are on to my last leather fragrance today. I wanted to gatekeep this so bad, but I have to tell you about it. I have to. Oh my god. I just couldn't do a leather video without talking about this fragrance. No matter how much I wanted to keep it to myself and gatekeep it, because I've known about this for a while and I've just been obsessed with it from the start. And that is none other than Aswan from Whittian. Never seen a soul talk about this fragrance. I have seen people talk about New York, and that's a beautiful, fresh, masculine, very clean fragrance. I enjoy that, but there's something special about Aswan. This is another one that also features a note of raspberry. So yes, it's a touch fruity, fresh. You also have violet leaves, pink pepper, tobacco, vanilla, musk, cedar. So there is a lot going on in this fragrance. It is very complex, which I appreciate once again because it's not straight leather up in your face. This is blended to perfection. Would I wear this myself? Probably not. I find this to be very masculine. This just screams sexy, masculine guy that takes care of himself. He goes to the gym, he gets his hair cut every month. He wears matching outfit, very fashionable and stylish. That's what I think, that's what I picture when I smell this. It's clean, it's fresh, it's a little bit fruity, it's woody. You have a smoky leather in the background. This is just fresh, clean, slightly sweet, a little bit smoky, leathery. It's perfect. This is the perfect leather fragrance for me, and my boyfriend is absolutely obsessed with this. I got it for him recently, but we've been looking at it for a very long time. So this holds a special place in my heart. This is definitely my #1 leather fragrance. I had to hold it for the end. So Oswan is getting a 10 out of 10. And that's it for my leather fragrance video. Those are all of the leather fragrances that I have been enjoying myself, apart from one. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Do you agree with me on any of these scents? And is there one that you love? What's your favorite leather fragrance? I would love to hear about it. Thank you so much for watching today. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.